And now we yield to Mr. Andrews, the senior Democratic member of the subcommittee, for his opening remarks.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your courtesies. I'd like to welcome the witnesses and welcome back the witnesses, I think, in at least 2 of the cases, maybe 3. On May 23rd of 2011, the Department of Labor received an unqualified audit letter, which is a clean audit. How we got there was slower than it should have been. So I want to make 2 points this morning. The first is the reason for the delay in getting that clean audit letter. And the second is to respectfully challenge my friend's assertion that the existence of exceptions in the clean audit letter are somehow evidence of financial mismanagement. They most emphatically are not. In 1989, the Department of Labor began using a software system to keep track of its books. And when 2002 rolled around, they were still using that same software system. And I think it would be true in most of corporate America or any government institution in America. If you're using, in 2002, a piece of software generated in 1989, it probably didn't work very well. The Bush Labor Department reached that conclusion. They reached the conclusion they needed to replace that software system. So in 2002, the prior administration began a process to replace that software system. That process was an unmitigated disaster. The prior administration spent $35 million, and by 2007, they concluded that that system would never work, and they junked it. So for the better part of 6 years and $35 million, the prior administration tried to implement a piece of bookkeeping software that would give the department and the taxpayers better access to financial data. In 2007, the prior administration began to correct this remedy and come up with a third system. By the time the new administration took office in January of 2009, that new system, which cost about $25 million, was partially implemented. It was partially implemented because the training that was needed to train the department employees on how to best use that system had not yet been fully done. So when the new administration took office, it was in the midst of helping to complete that implementation of that new system. Mr. Taylor, whom we're pleased to welcome back to the committee, I believe took office in June of 2010 at the Department of Labor as the Chief Financial Officer. And he walked into a bit of a difficult situation because that software system was not yet fully implemented, the employees are not yet fully trained. By the time we reached the fall of 2010, it became obvious that KPMG was not going to be able to do due diligence on the financial audits because the correct documentation was not in place. As was our responsibility under the rules of the Congress, on December 7th of last year, the subcommittee, which then I was then privileged to chair, and Mr. Rowe, Dr. Rowe, was the senior minority member at the time, discharged our duty and had a hearing and effectively said, when are you going to fix this problem so we can have an audit? Mr. Taylor made a commitment to the committee and to the public that he would lead an effort to make sure that that audit was completed by the spring. Mr. Taylor, you have honored that commitment. The audit documents were in place, so the audit could be completed by the spring. And in fact, on May 23rd of 2011, KPMG, through the IG's office, issued a clean audit letter. Now, my friend refers to the 4 exceptions in the clean audit letter as somehow evidence of financial mismanagement. Well, if that were the case, we had financial mismanagement in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 6, 7, and 8. Because in each of those 8 fiscal years, there were significant exceptions made to the audit as well. As a matter of fact, in those 8 fiscal years where the prior administration was running the department, there were 64 exceptions in total to the 8 clean audit letters that were issued. Now, I do think we should focus on these exceptions and fix them. I would love to see an audit issued, timely audit, issued for the 2011 fiscal year that has no exceptions in it. And I think that should be our goal. But I do think we should begin today with a reflection of a record that says that we are looking at a department that received a clean audit letter. And I think we should thank you, Mr. Taylor, for honoring your commitment to the committee and putting us in a position to produce that clean audit letter. So at this, I would thank the witnesses and turn back to my friend, the chairman.
I thank the gentleman.